everyone, today I'm back to basically do a review on a supplement I told you guys that I was going to try about 2 months ago. And the supplement I'll be doing a review on today is Benecalorie Protein Food Enhancer. Before I get into that review, I wanted to ask you guys a question because I got a question a couple of days ago from one of my viewers asking if I had tried macaroot pills in reference to gaining weight. And I haven't tried macaroot pills, so I wanted to ask you guys if you guys have tried macaroot pills and if you guys experience any benefits or any side effects or anything with macaroot pills. So if you have any experience with macaroot pills, please, pretty please comment down below because I'm also interested in maybe possibly trying macaroot pills. So I did take some notes so that I can remember everything that I want to talk about today, so I probably will be looking down quite often. Benecalorie is basically a protein food enhancer, a calorie enhancer. It is basically a liquid that comes in a container that looks like this. In this liquid, there is 330 calories, there is 7 grams of protein, and it is unflavored. So if you use this liquid and add this liquid to any of your foods or drinks, you're enhancing your food or your drink with 330 added calories. And you're also adding 7 grams of protein to any food that you add this to. It came in a box of 24, so I got 24 of these containers. And this is the box it came in. And I have about 11 left, and I've been using this for about 2 months. So that shows that I haven't been using it that often. For $36, you get 24 containers, meaning you can use it 24 times. So before I get into how I use this and my experience with this, I want to show you what it looks like. So before you use it, you have to shake it up very, very, very well because the liquid is quite thick, it's milky, and it's white. And I'll show you what it looks like. So this is gonna be kind of hard to show you guys because I don't want it to spill, but let me see how I'm gonna do this. This is what it looks like. As you can see, Benecalorie is definitely a thick, white, milky consistency. On the ends or the edges of the container, you can also see chunks, which is why you have to shake it up very, very well. But even after shaking it up very well, you'll still see chunks within the liquid, which is why it doesn't blend that easily. It basically looks like stale milk to me. So now that you see what it looks like, you can probably tell that does not easily mix in with food at all, and I expected that it would. I originally bought it because 2 months ago I was having cravings for cup of noodles. And I was like, oh, that's perfect to put in cup of noodles because cup of noodles don't have that many calories. And so if I can add 330 calories to my cup of noodles that I was eating like 3 times a day, that was gonna be perfect. So I thought. So I tried it and I put it in my cup of noodles and it immediately turned my cup of noodles a different color, which, you know, when you look at your food, you want your food to look good. You want your food to look appetizing. So when my cup of noodles turned from like a brownish color to a milky, more of a milky light brown color, it made my food not as appetizing because it changed the color of my food. Number 2 problem with it is it has a horrible smell. The first about 2 times that I used it, I didn't smell it. And then about the 3rd time I went to use it, I was like, let me see what this smells like. And I smelt it and it smells horrible. And so that became a problem. Once I smelt it, I didn't really want to eat it anymore and I didn't want to use it anymore. And once I smelt it, my food started to taste the way that Benecalorie smells. Like, I just started noticing the smell more than I did before I had went and smelt it. So that became a problem as well. So first, it was changing the color of my food. Number two, the smell was not good. It was not appetizing. And then number three, it's greasy. And I don't really know how to explain a greasy feeling in your mouth and a greasy taste, but you should know what I'm talking about when I'm saying it feels greasy in my mouth and it leaves a greasy aftertaste in my mouth. And greasy foods bother the heck out of me. The first time I used it, I didn't notice the greasiness at all. The second time I used it, I didn't notice the greasiness, but by the third time I used it, I woke up in the morning and I felt sick and I didn't know why I felt sick. And I think by the fourth, fifth time I used it, I realized it's Benecalorie, and it's the fact that it's leaving a greasy taste in my mouth and it's leaving, you know, just a greasy feeling in my body, and it's just, you know, it's just not working well for me. When I really noticed the greasiness was when you know, sometimes I don't eat my food immediately, especially if my food is hot. I let it cool down, and I noticed the Benecalorie would start separating from my food. You know, when I put it in soup, it would start separating, and you would see, like, on one side of my plate would be the food, you know, the liquid, the soup, and on the other side of my plate or bowl would be some greasy stuff. And it would be the grease from Benecalorie would just separate either to the side of my food, or it would leave a film on the top of my food. So that was yet, you know, another problem, because I don't want greasy food. So the thing is, if you're looking to buy Benecalorie to mix in with foods, I would say no, don't get it. It doesn't mix in well with foods. But if you're looking for a Benecalorie to mix in with, say, milk, perfect. It mixes in perfectly with milk because it looks like milk. Now, if the greasiness bothers you, maybe mixing in with milk wouldn't be a good idea because milk doesn't dilute it enough. But it does mix in very well with milk. It also mixes in well with cereal like oatmeal. It mixes in perfectly with oatmeal. But once again, if the greasiness bothers you, you wouldn't want to mix it in with oatmeal either, because oatmeal wouldn't dilute it enough. For me, what works perfectly with Benecalorie is when I make shakes. When I make fruit shakes, milk shakes, shakes with ice cream, it mixes in perfectly because the shakes dilute it enough, because, you know, the shakes are made in a blender, and the blender's, you know, quite large, and I use quite amount of fruits and ice cream and milk and coconut milk. So I use quite a few things to make my shakes. So there's enough other things in my shakes to dilute the Benecalorie enough so that I don't notice the greasiness, I don't notice the texture, I don't notice the taste, and I also don't notice the look of it. So if you make shakes on a regular basis, Benecalorie is absolutely perfect because it adds 330 more calories to your shakes, and you could even use 2 of them and get 660 calories added to your shakes. So if you make or blend shakes, I mean, it's absolutely perfect for that. But for foods, I don't know, I just can't use it in my foods. I just can't deal with it changing the texture of my foods, changing the look of my foods, and the greasiness aspect of it. So when I make shakes, I use Benecalorie each and every time. The only issue with me is I don't make shakes that often. I almost rarely make shakes. I tend to use my liquid nutritional supplements that are already made that I buy from CVS. So I have absolutely no need to actually make shakes of my own. But sometimes I do make shakes because I like the taste of milkshakes and fruit shakes and stuff like that. I like the taste, and I also like adding fruit to my diet since I don't think I get enough fruit in my diet. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Like I said, the container of 24 packs is $36. So if you've tried Benecalorie protein food enhancer, please let me know your experience with it, and maybe you can also share your experience with everyone else.